Hello, folks. Welcome to this month's update with what's going on with the End of Dragons and the other stuff I scribble about. Richard's here. Richard, great to see you. Richard comes from overseas. Everyone, let me know where you're coming in from. Sunny, not Bolton, or not Lob, if you're of a certain age. I am of a certain age. Not Lob. That's not a palindrome. Welcome, Steve. Good to see you too. Do feel free to ask questions and pop them in the comments because Emski is back. Emski was away last month. Say hello, Emski. Give us a wave. Hi. That's my daughter Emily, who's doing all the important stuff backstage. So yeah, cool. Kate's here from Suffolk, of course. Fantastic, super stuff. So yes, put in comments, questions as we go. I've got a very special guest to chat with tonight. But first, a bit of news on the End of Dragons. Now, when I first started doing these updates at the beginning of the year, I really wanted to publish the End of Dragons by the end of May, ideally in time for the MCM Comic Con. Sadly, that's not going to happen. Why? I hear you cry. Well, based on all the faff of making sure that the print edition of The End of Magic was up to snuff, which involved me ordering sample copies, them turning up, me not being happy with the sample copies, sending them back. I've got one here. This one from Amazon. It looked like it'd been kicked around like a football in the warehouse. It was really rough. So yeah, I reckon that extra 2 weeks because it takes them like a week to get them to me. Also, my copy editor Lisa was held up by another big name fantasy author's copy edit. I'm not saying this big name fantasy author was in any way, lacking in or being late with their own work, nor do I resent them for it. But it's just either there's a pecking order, and I'm clearly not at the top of it. But let me make it clear. Lisa Rogers, copy editor, is worth waiting for. She's worked on all of my books so far, and she's a blimmin' genius and will definitely improve the book. So then after that comes the proofread. And that's not something you want to rush. And by then, I should have advanced reader copy files ready for those who signed up for the launch team. So thank you, as always, for your patience. So, yeah. Now, the good news is that I can finally reveal the amazing new cover art for The End of Dragons, which, in the tradition of these things, me being a big tease, I'm going to reveal at the end. Sorry, I'm going to make you worth the wait, but it will be worth the wait. And once again, that artwork is by the breathtakingly talented Alejandro Colucci, who has designed cover art for the likes of Robin Hobb, Stephen Erickson, the Witcher books by Andrzej Sapkowski, and many, many more. Do visit Alejandro's website to see samples of his work. It is just amazing. So yes, thank you. Now, on to tonight's special guest. It's none other than Rowan Coleman. Rowan is the internationally best-selling, award-winning author and screenwriter of 16 novels, including The Memory Book, The Summer of Impossible Things, and The Girl at the Window, and her latest novel, From Now Until Forever. It's out now, and I've read it, and it's bloody brilliant. Rowan, hello, how are you?
Hi. I'm good, thanks.
Excellent.
Very exciting.
Excellent.
Thanks for having me.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us this evening.
Oh yeah, I'm always so busy, Mark, as you know.
You are. I do know. Yes, I do know indeed. But yeah. So From Now Until Forever, which I read and I absolutely loved.
Oh, thanks.
Now, the thing about this, I know you're kind of, people might think of you as women's fiction, rom-coms, that kind of thing, but you do put a lot of sort of fantastical stuff into your work, which I love. Because let's talk about how we met, because I was giving a talk at the RNA, and I was talking about Back to Reality there, the book I wrote with Mark DeVoe for the bestseller experiment. I remember standing up there being all smug going, and there's like a rom-com kind of tone to it, and it involves time travel, which no one's ever done before. And then from the back of the room, I hear a voice go, "Excuse me." Oh no, I'm in trouble now. So
yeah. Well, because we were on the cusp of the sort of reinvigoration of the sweeping time travel adventure with a love interest story, but I was slightly first.
And it was a massive bestseller. And it was it a Richard and Judy book as well? It was Richard and Judy, wasn't it?
This one wasn't. No, it was a Zoe Ball book club.
Zoe Ball.
So it was on the telly, which was very exciting for me. And it's when it's the first book I wrote where I started to let myself add in science fiction and fantasy elements into my work, because those are the things that I really love.
Did you get any resistance from that, from the publishers were saying, "Oh, this isn't what we usually get from you. Can you tone it down?" Or
No, I was really lucky for two reasons. I think I had a really great editor who just would let me kind of experiment with different ideas and themes, and also my previous book, the memory book, had been a Richard and Judy, and it had sold quite well, so I was allowed to sort of try something I wanted to do, and that's been a kind of feature of my writing career. And I think we're similar in this way, is that I just always want to try new and different things, which
Absolutely,
sometimes it works.
Sometimes. Let's see. Well, look, this is the cover from Now Until Forever. I've read it. I absolutely loved it. And there's something that happens, I think, about a little way in, it's like 7 chapters in, and there's this, I'm not going to call it twist. I think it's too early for a twist, but there's this big reveal that completely blew my mind. That isn't anywhere in the blurb, really. It isn't anywhere, in the description. And that that can make a book really difficult to pitch, can't it? I mean, it's
yeah. I think it is a difficult one to pitch, I think, but it looks on the outside like a sort of standard sort of tragic love story, but it being me, it does have those speculative elements within. It's hard to sort of describe it without spoiling it, and I think when I do book events for it, I do actually read the spoiler chapter because for my own fun, because I like to hear everybody in the room go
Well, that's the thing. It was you telling me about that. I think we were talking with a friend of ours on here, and I won't reveal who, but we're having a conversation about a project we're working on, and you said that, and I thought, she made someone go, I'm going to, because I've got, you very kindly sent me an advanced reading copy, which, which sat on the shelf. I hadn't read it, sorry. But it was when, you said, it's when you said the gasp thing that I thought, oh, I have to read it now. And I did. And I gasped. I thought, that is so audacious. That's fantastic.
Isn't it?
I mean, yeah. But it's, I mean, what's your attitude to spoilers and twists? Because we were talking earlier and you said you'd seen a film, but you didn't want to talk to me about it until I'd seen it so we could talk about the twists and stuff like that. Are you quite, because I'll happily blurt twists to all sorts. So
I just remember long time ago being in the cinema watching this movie that I'd never heard of called The Sixth Sense.
Right.
And somebody sitting in the row in front of me, and spoiler alert, said within the first 10 minutes, oh, did you know Bruce Willis is a ghost? And I was
no.
Off. I was so upset. So I know a lot of people actually want spoilers so that they don't have to sort of feel anxious while they're reading. But for me, I try really hard not to spoil things for other people.
We have a story about The Sixth Sense, don't we, Emily?
Do we?
Do we? Yeah, we do. Which is when you're in your mummy's tummy, this is how long ago it was, when Claire was pregnant and she was overdue, I said, let's go to The Sixth Sense. We can scare this child out of you. But the thing is, Claire doesn't get scared by horror movies. I do. I was absolutely petrified, and Claire was. And so, yeah, you didn't arrive till weeks later, I don't think.
Is that why I like horror movies?
Probably is. Yes, probably is.
Defining moment in your development, Emily.
Yeah.
Anyway, back in your box. Right. Now, the other thing you do is you will write under pseudonyms. You write under different names, and most recently, you've been writing under the pen name Bella Ellis, where you write the Bronte mysteries, which are these novels where you got the Bronte sisters as amateur sleuths solving crimes. And there's 4 of them. There's Vanished Bride, Diabolical Bones, Red Monarch, and A Gift of Poison. Tell us about those. What inspired those?
Well, I mean, I am a massive Bronte sisters nerd, and I have been since I was about 10, and I first read Jane Eyre. In fact, Jane Eyre, I think, is the book that made me a lover of horror movies and ghost stories, because it's really, really spooky, and also made me want to be a writer. So a few years ago, I had this sort of crazy idea that I was writing a proper full-on ghost story called The Girl at the Window, and I had the idea of, oh, perhaps, you know, the Bronte sisters could be a cameo in this, trying to solve the same riddle as the contemporary heroine is trying to solve. And as soon as I had that idea, I was like, wait a minute, the Bronte sisters as detectives. And so that's where the series was born. And they are quite, I mean, they are historically and biographically accurate, but they also are quite fun. They're like a sort of Buffy does bonnets. And
when you're writing mysteries like that, are you exercising sort of different writing muscles? Do you plot those out differently to the other stuff you write?
Well, as you know, Mark, I love a twist. So, but I had to learn. How to write a mysteries novel, and so it sort of, it takes me 1 or 2 or 3 goes to get it to the appropriate area of complexity for it to be confusing for the reader. And I think the best way to do that, the best way to not telegraph any secrets to the reader, is to not know yourself. So I just kind of like work on the basis that I'll write 2/3, and then hopefully the answer will present itself.
This segues very nicely onto the next bit, because we're going to talk about the stuff that we've been writing ourselves jointly, and we're writing something today which is a horror script, and we're about halfway through, and you said, what about this massive twist idea I've got that changes everything? So yeah, that was it is a habit of yours, definitely. So
I think you see the best way to surprise a reader is to let an idea surprise you.
Yes, I think you're right.
If you've got it planned right from the beginning, it's very hard to keep that secret in a appropriate way. I'm watching a really cool TV series on Apple TV at the moment, which has got a huge, totally left wall twist called Sugar. But it did kind of telegraph it fairly early.
Yeah, that was doing the rounds online yesterday, and unfortunately someone spilled the beans, so I sort of know what that twist is now. But but
it's really good though. I recommend it.
Yeah, there you go, Kate Baker, brilliant author, Kate. Fantastic author. Brilliant book called Made in Steel, which people should check out. Yes, and yeah.
I love that.
So yes, we can't really talk much about what we've been working on, but one is we'll talk in vague terms. So 3 years ago, you got in touch and said, let's write a screenplay, and you sent me a short story in which we built up this screenplay from. And I won't say any more other than it is a rom-com with magical sort of fantasy elements to it as well, and it's got producers, and they're taking it to Cannes next week, we think, don't we? We did lots of rewrites, and it's supposed to be going to Cannes, so there's that. So fingers crossed for that it finds
all your positive like vibes through the air for us next week, and like if it all comes off, we'll buy you everyone a drink. I will.
Okay, wow.
Me and Emily, we'll buy you a drink.
Everyone who turned up tonight will go. If you're watching this back on YouTube 4 years later, you'll know whether or not we're like, our lives have completely transformed, or if we're still working because we can't afford to. Thank you for all the good woo-woo, Sage. Thank you, Sage. Sage is in South Africa, I believe, as well. So international audience today. It's fantastic. Gavin's in New Zealand, I believe. Yeah, fantastic. Excellent.
Hi, Gavin.
So what else have we got? We got a revenge thriller that we've been writing.
Yeah.
Which we're gonna write under, because you've written under Bella Ellis and other pen names. We're gonna write under a pen name. So we'll see. I've got people putting their orders in there.
We don't know. Yeah, you don't know. Anything could happen. We don't know. It could be, but we had fun, right? And that's the most important.
Great fun. And that was a novel. That was the first time I co-written a novel since I did Back to Reality, and it was ping-ponging back and forth, and it was really, really enjoyable, really good fun. I again, don't want to say too much, but you did the female character, I did the male character, and we switched. Anyway, it was good. And that's definitely one to watch for. And we're currently working on a a horror. Again, don't want to say too much about that, but we're about halfway through that, and that's great fun. Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster. Yeah, there we go. Don't panic, everyone, in nice big friendly letters. Yeah, thank you, Richard. So yeah, that's exciting, and it's been fun working together. So hopefully we can keep doing that. And
yeah, I was thinking that we have the pandemic to thank for that, because we're at opposite ends of the country. So it's nice that we kind of like, you know, have this portal to work through.
Yeah, and it is all done online like this. So the way we work is we'll fix a time to have a Zoom meeting or a StreamYard. I've been using StreamYard a lot as well, which has been fun. And we'll have a story meeting, and we'll record it. And then I listen to it back at about 1.5 times the speed with my finger on the space bar, making notes, because there's so much.
Make my voice even higher.
Yeah.
We should set fire.
And I make notes, because basically what happens, folks, is I'll say, what should happen in this scene? Maybe this, and this could happen. And then Rowan will go, I've got an idea, and talk for 10 minutes straight. And yes, that is 3 joint projects. In fact, there are more that haven't. There's a couple of TV things that are sitting on a shelf somewhere. Yeah, and I'll take notes, and then I'll write it up and send it to you, and you'll make suggestions, and we'll go back and forth. So it's been a good system, isn't it? It's worked really well.
It's a really good system. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what's listening at 3 times speed is my usual. Wow.
How do you do that?
Like cousin it. Wow, fantastic. My brain just can't work that fast.
That will save a lot of time, to be fair. So props.
That is true. Now, apart from the stuff that we're working on, what have you got coming next? What's next going to be next in the bookshop?
Well, today I signed a contract with Avon US to publish my, again, quite fantastic, actually very fantastical rom-com. So that will be coming. It's called The Good Boy. That will be coming out next spring. And it's just, I love it. It's very, very funny. She says modestly. It's about a woman who accidentally turns her golden retriever into a man. And it's just very funny.
Great.
There's just a lot of dog jokes. And then I'm just finishing off my next Rowan novel, which will be out in the spring again next year, which is also, you know me, Mark. It's about quantum physics and consciousness.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. Right.
But also set in World War II, and also with a lovely romance.
Wicked. Excellent.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, until then, all of Rowan's books are in the shops, including From Now Until Forever, which is in Paperbock. Is in Paperbock, isn't it? It's
in Paperbock. Yes, I've got it here. Yeah. Look.
Oh, look at that. Professional. Fantastic. Yeah, and audio and ebook. Because I actually bought the ebook because I usually read about 4:30 in the morning, so I have it on my phone.
Are you sure? You're not sure it's because you just forgot you had that?
No. I've got, because I do occasionally get sent proofs and stuff. And I have a shelf up there, a TBR, pile. And so I bought the ebook.
God, I wish sorry. I'm just reading the quotes. I just really wish I'd picked that title.
Love a first quark.
God damn it.
Right. I think we should do a little business, and then we'll come to the cover reveal. So a few updates.
Your cover. Can I stay for like a live reaction?
Of course you can. Yeah, absolutely. So The Corn Bride, the 5th Witches of Woodville book. So the latest draft is with my editor Georgie at Simon & Schuster. She's still replying to my emails, so she's still talking to me. So that's a good sign, and I'm hoping to hear back from her soon. I've done the copy edit and the proof. Coming soon is the copy edit and the proofread of Ender Dragons, so that's to come as well. I am doing a couple of events So at the end of the month on the, I'm going to have to take your banner off there. Hang on, let me remove that round. Sorry. There we go. 24th, 26th of May. That whole weekend, I'm going to be at the MCM Comic Con with my little table, selling my wares. So do come and say hello if you're coming to that. That would be awesome. And then almost immediately after that, Saturday, 1st of June, I'm going out to Edinburgh to be part of Chimera, where I'm doing a panel with the magnificent Charles Stross. I've read Season of Skulls, his new one, and that is awesome. That is you'd like that, Rowan, because it's like Eldritch Gods, but also with a Regency romance thrown in, and also like an episode of The Prisoner. It's really good. So we're going to be yeah, and you can watch that online as well. So if you can't come in person, you can stream all the Chimera stuff. So do check that out. Ooh. So yeah. So yes, cover reveal time. So Alejandro Colucci. Once again, I sent Alejandro the details of a scene from the new book, The End of Dragons, and this is what he sent me.
Oh, look at that! It's gorgeous.
It's good, isn't it? Isn't it great?
Oh, I love it.
And the blurb at the bottom says, "To survive, they must kill the last of her kind." So what's that? That's me killing off magical creatures again. What am I like?
No.
Shall we see it without the words? There we go. Look at that. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, it's really beautiful.
Absolutely brilliant. I love it. And look how beautiful they look together. Look at that. Oh,
yeah, they look gorgeous.
Isn't it lovely? Yeah.
My dandelion cover to shame, honestly.
Well, I mean, it's one of these things. What you learn is that certainly when you want to go international, fantasy fans like people on the cover, which means hiring a proper artist, not not an AI thing. It's and Alejandro is just amazing. So yeah, very, very lucky. So no publication date yet. Sorry. But maybe next time, once I've done the copy edit, I'll be a lot more confident about that. So, listen, we're going to be back next month, and next month we're going to talk about the edit update after the copy edit that the Dragons launch team again get their advanced reader copies as well, and possibly an update in the audio. I know lots of you like audio, and thanks to everyone who joined in with the poll on the Facebook. I know you like audio, but we'll have another wonderful guest. But until then, there are paperback copies of The End of Magic. They are available from me, and if you order it from me, not only will I sign it, you will get a free postcard which has the artwork on it as well. So if you want to have a little bit of Alejandro's artwork as a bookmark, then drop us a line. And I've got a banner here somewhere. Where can I put that? Let's have a look. What have I got? There we go. Go to the Village Bookshop at witchesofwoodville.com. You can order them from there. Please order them, because I spent an unconscionable amount of money on 2 tickets to see David Gilmour later this year, which, being a fan, I had to do. It came up and I went, oh, click.
It's so much money.
And I told you earlier. Now, Rowan, can I tell them who your man life partner is and what he does?
Yes,
for a living?
You can tell them who my man life partner is.
So he plays guitar for Rick Astley, ladies and gentlemen. And what did you say to me earlier? If I want to hear.
If you want to hear really overlong, boring, twiddly guitar solos, you can come around my house. For free. But you said it wasn't
laughing.
Sorry.
Yes, I never gave him up. I never let him down. Thank you, folks. Just a few other things. Pop over to theendofmagic.com, because I've tidied up the website there. It hasn't got The End of Dragons up there yet, but I will put it on there eventually. But it looks really, really pretty. But yeah, if you want signed books, any of my books, Village Bookshop at witchesofwoodville.com. Yeah, fantastic. That's it. I think we're done. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. I know we've had some amazing. I know my friend Jeff from Detroit was here as well. Hi, Jeff. Yeah, fantastic. Good to see you all. No questions. We haven't any questions, have we? Any questions before we go? Any questions before we go?
We had a couple.
Oh, go on in. Yeah, we've had a couple. Go for it, Ems. What we got?
Someone was asking how Rowan's tower is getting along. Let me just see if I can.
How Rowan's tower is getting along.
Oh, my turret.
Yeah, the turret. Sorry.
You're in it, aren't you?
This is it. Yeah, this is my turret. Hang on, I'll give you a little guided, like a very swift guided tour. You ready?
Yep.
Love my turret. Makes me very happy. Yeah. This turret is good. Turret life is good.
Fantastic. And yeah, there's Jeff, my friend Jeff. Just go score, Jeff. Has it been fun to dip back into that world? Is this for me, Kate? Is that for me?
Yes, it's for you.
Oh, it's been such a treat. It's been such a treat because the story is I got the rights back. I originally wanted to do a trilogy, but then I was sort of halfway through the crowdfunding exercise and Unbound. I thought I really don't want to do this for every book, so I made it a standalone, but with the door slightly ajar to come in and write more. And then when I got the rights back, I thought, great, sequel. I'm going to do a sequel, and in fact, I'm going to do a trilogy. I'm going to do 3 of them. So it was so much fun, and I think Sander Bree, who's the grumpy, he's 60 in this one. He was in his 50s in the previous one. The grumpy sort of mage at the center of this is probably the closest to me that I've ever written a character. So he comes quite easily. So yeah, it has been really, really good. And, you know, as I say, I like killing off magical creatures in a way that makes readers cry. So...
I find that disturbing because I like to think of myself as a magical creature.
Oh, have you ever written a book and kicked yourself that you sent it to publish and realised you had an extra chapter in you? Have you done that, Rowan? Have you ever done that?
I certainly always sent a book off and lain awake the entire night realising what was wrong with it. Yeah. But usually there's a time to correct it or to improve it, so it's not too bad. But yeah,
I sent off the Cornbride to a couple of beta readers, and the feedback I got was you've set this thing up and nothing happens. And I did think, I've left out an entire action sequence. There's a whole I've set this whole thing up and I've just glossed over it, and I had so much fun going back to it and adding all that in. It's an action sequence that involves Morris dancers. There we go.
Yeah.
So
the first draft of the book, I'm just pointing at my computer. The first draft of a book that I'm writing now, I set up a spy story, totally forgot to add it in.
And Misty Folsom, which I don't think is her real name, can we note that you got the rights back and when you did? Because I asked Santa for them on Christmas from Twitter. Yes, I remember that. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten that. It did make me think, yeah, people might actually want to read this. So yes, thank you very much. Look, here we go. This is a good one. Have you ever killed off a character and had regret after publication? Rowan?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I have. I can't say any more than that because of the whole spoilers thing, and on the slight chance that the people watching this might want to read one of my books. But I think there is one book where if I could change the ending, I might do. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because first draft of End of Magic, I killed off a character, and again, if people haven't read the End of Magic, I don't want to spoil it, but it's someone who comes very close to death at the end of it, and then they're revived. And I'm so glad it was my editor, my agent, Ed. Ed said, "Why have you killed him off? What have you done that for? They'd be great in further adventures." And he was absolutely spot on because in the End of Dragons, they go off and have all sorts of adventures together. So
yeah. Of course, with the Bronte mysteries, I don't have much choice because I just will die. So not too much about that.
I do remember in the one of the early drafts of Robot Overlords, John Wright and I, because we wrote that together, we thought we were being really clever, and about a third of the way in, we killed off all but 2 of the kids, and we got feedback from who was it from? Mark Huckabee and Nick Ostler, who write horror movies, but they've also written loads of children's stuff, and they said they said you've written a children's film in which you've committed infanticide about 30 minutes in. So we put all the kids back in because it was we didn't want to traumatize the little sweethearts. And yes, Ed is a wise man. He really is. He's a wise man. Okay, what are we seeing the end of in book 3? Well, it's currently titled The End of Gods, which will probably stick for reasons I won't go into. So yeah, that's the current working title. So
you could call it The End of Guitar Solos.
Oh. There was going to be more killing in the end of that. Yes, there was going to be more killing in the end of Mac, and now, to give you some context, Richie was an extra on Unwelcome. So well, I've pitched it, Richie, but sadly Hollywood has fallen on deaf ears. But never give up, never surrender.
Never know. I was actually thinking about a sequel to that the other day, idly. I thought it could be good.
What, Unwelcome?
That one wasn't. That wasn't.
Right, I think, is that all of them? I think that's all of them, isn't it?
Yeah, I think unless, of course, something kind of shoots through at the last minute.
Okay, brilliant. Well, look, let's sign off. Thank you, good people, for coming along. It's been lovely to see you all. Thank you, Rowan. It's been an absolute pleasure. And don't forget, go and visit Rowan's website and look at all her books. There is rowancoleman.co.uk. And don't forget to check out From Now Until Forever. I guarantee chapter 7 or whatever it is, you will go, that is a I was going to say money back guarantee. I'm not going to do that. That is a guarantee.
Not after you bought those tickets.
Oh, so no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And thank you, Anne, for pushing all the buttons. Thank you. Right. Okay. Bye, everyone. See you next time. Bye-bye. Bye, Jeff. Bye. Keep waving. Rowan and I have realised that when we finish our sessions on Zoom and StreamYard, we wave like children's presenters from the 70s. Goodbye, everyone. Bye.